morning, everybody, and welcome in.
Hey, guys.
Please don't put me down below. I don't like to be under Scott and Eddie. I want to be on top.
Oh, wait a minute. But this is not after dark, ma'am.
What?
Wow. 1 minute and 40 seconds into the show.
I don't like to be under top. I mean, under bottom.
Not even a minute, less than that.
Yeah.
No, they know what people know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be.
She's trying to say that she belongs on primetime.
Oh, wait. Wait, this is it. I checked several things this morning, several vlogs, lives this morning from the TV. And I was going to dress like Eddie this morning, but I just didn't. But here's the deal. I'm going to make this announcement for Eddie. Wait. He said, not me now, he said because of health reasons, he got to leave the beef alone.
Yep.
So I am going to follow him around on the Paradise.
Yep.
To make sure he stays away from Guy's Burgers. That is what my promise to the viewers.
That's gonna be a rough endeavor. So, but hey,
what you could do for us all,
okay,
is you could stop by Elijah's school and pick up some burgers there, bring them along because those would probably be better than Guy's.
Yeah, the white meat.
The white meat.
Yes, the white beef. That sounds like it's way tastier than a Guy's burger.
It sounds like Beyond Meat to me.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to see it. Oh my God!
I'm gonna eat a Guy's Burger sandwich right in front of Scott.
Oh!
Listen, you can do that all the live long day as long as I don't have to eat it.
Oh wait!
Extra onions, extra cheese. I go, Scott, check it out. Me with
about sweaty cheese on a crunchy burger.
Yeah, no cheese.
No cheese.
Can't do the sweaty cheese.
So they're finally here.
Nice.
My delivery is here. Let him pull up in the driveway.
Yep. We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Go Live Together. We are your morning team. I am Jeremy. This is Cheryl. Up top, we got Eddie and Scott. Good morning, gentlemen. How is the day going so far?
I want to be on top. Can you put me on top?
Any day you feel like it, baby.
Okay. Reed Cruz not coming here. Like he's he's an angel or something.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Hold up. I got to scroll for this one. We haven't even got started yet. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. Good morning. Hashtag Team Replay. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We always appreciate you coming back to check out the show. And consistently, you guys have been coming back. Oh, man, we really enjoy seeing you guys. But for those of you that are in here right now, good morning and welcome in the Cruise Nuts.
What's up?
Yeah, you know what D's Nuts said about you?
What?
They said, hashtag Cheryl wants to ride on top. Wait, no, that's Captain Billy J.
Oh, Captain Billy. Wait.
I'll be right back, all right?
Okay.
Y'all behave. I'll be
Yep. And Cruise Nuts says, I almost changed channels because of this talk started to sound very inappropriate. Talk about being on top and stuff.
Well, see,
you make people leave.
No, I don't.
They think they tuned into the wrong show.
No.
Captain Billy J already. Yeah.
Can you put me?
Well, you're good. You're good here.
I don't like to be here.
Traveling with Tinkerbell. Good morning.
Hey, Tinker. So we're to tell you that we'll be there on Sunday in Tampa, so you can get the food restaurant
on the Sunday preceding the Booze Cruise 2.0 leaving out of Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard this morning.
Headed to ports of call.
Wait,
Key West,
Florida, Grand Cayman Island,
Montego Bay,
Jamaica.
That one?
Yes.
Okay, just
Aboard
make
the Carnival Paradise.
Mm.
All right.
Eddie gonna get you.
Tinkerbell says, well, the union rep, he took off. So
he told y'all to behave.
Yeah, we can act a fool. Tinkerbell says, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Have a fantastic day. It's a sunny day in Florida. Utopia of the Seas preview countdown has started. Next up in the chat is Cheryl Boucher. Hey, babe.
Whatever.
What's up?
Texas.
Scott Smith has made it in. Good morning. Driving and listening. Midlife Travels has made it in. Hello. Welcome in. Journeys with June and Brady have made it in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yo, Brooklyn in the house, but not really because he just blanked out a screen to go get his Kroger delivery. Eddie Lugo Studios has made it into the chat. Good morning.
I can eat his heart. Oh, I'm telling y'all acting. They acting up.
See?
Eddie said, "Do not act up."
I didn't get the memo. Controversial Cruising has made it in. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Mike and Rihanna's Adventures have made it in. Hello.
Reinforcements have arrived from the north.
I've been thinking about them, Mike and Rihanna. I have. I thought about
how y'all feeling?
Morning. Yeah. I've been thinking about them this morning. I thought
Althea Taylor, Natural Life. Hey.
Hey, my sister.
Good morning.
Yep. Captain Billy J Travels has made it in. Good morning.
What did he say?
Well, this was the greeting before the hashtag that I saw a while ago. PK Adventure Travels has made it in. Good morning.
I see you guys can drop by.
Oh, wait a minute. There's an update here. Good morning from a sad Tampa Bay due to the Bolts just being outplayed by the Panthers and out in round 1. Yeah, Mike and Rihanna, it isn't after dark.
I didn't say that. I didn't. No, y'all's mind.
It seems like it is kind of after dark though, right?
I know. Let's see. Cruising with Seas. Keith says, good morning, everyone. Let's get some tacos today.
You guys are behind us, so maybe the sun's not up there yet.
Yes.
We barely scratching our heads this morning, good sir. Bill Duffield, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, Bill?
Yep. Oh, okay. Cruising with Keith said, we had some beautiful weather yesterday here in New York, but it was just a tease of summer. And let's talk about it, Scott. How did you spend yesterday afternoon?
I basically, like I told you, I basically ran errands and stuff like that or whatever. It was very nice. And then at one point, my wife and I went out together. She had the air conditioning blasting in the car, and I had the window down.
Wow.
All the way. And of course, we have dual climate control in the car. So I had mine adjusted to something appropriate. She had hers all the way down and the fan blasting. I had my window down. So I managed.
Yours was on the red side. Hers was on the blue side, right? Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But Scott, you know what he said? He said, I bet Scott's outside enjoying this.
I was outside as much as possible. I'm going to be outside today. Today is basically about more or less a carbon copy of yesterday. So sunny, mid to upper 80s. Really looking forward to it. We'll be spending more time outside today as well. So.
Kathy Mills, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tamika Davis, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, we got a donation. Tacos in the chat. That's what I'm talking about right there. 2 of them. Yeet.
Yes.
Double dose. We got Cruising on the High Seas.
And Travel
has made it into the chat. Good
morning.
morning.
Y'all going to say something when I say this. I know Scott is going to say something because Eddie is gone with Kroger. Yesterday, we actually shopped together with Rob, and he shopped with us.
Yep.
At Walmart. We were on the phone and we didn't hang up. So therefore we shopped together.
Is that when you were buying yarn?
Yes.
Yes.
And I was wondering, like, who actually, I saw at one point that maybe either you discovered, or it kind of didn't look like it from the video that you figured it out. Like maybe somebody pointed out to you that the like the label was coming off of the bowl, so you put it back and got another one.
Yes, that's me. That's what I did.
was able to pick all of that up from the video, even though there was no dialogue.
I know, but that's what I do. If something is wrong, I put it back.
We can't record sound in there. There's copywritten music playing above our heads.
Yeah.
And they put that speaker right there above the yarn aisle.
Yes.
Cruise Nuts says, do you guys want me to vlog my trip to Cozumel this weekend or no?
Yes.
We didn't last time. We didn't hardly touch a camera last time. I'm going to recreate Scott's dance with a cruise nut twist.
Okay.
Oh, we got to do this, man.
To seeing that.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting up for
Get
that.
full of that sangria or tequila, whichever you prefer, and let's have it. We need a Scott dance.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Mike says Rihanna isn't doing too well.
Oh wow.
No.
Uh-oh.
I knew I was thinking about y'all for some reason.
Yep. Cruising with Calandra has made it in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Antoinette, hey friend, Antoinette at Fun has made it in. Hello. Yep. What's going on with Rihanna? Inquiring minds want to know. Journeys with June and Brady have made it into the chat. Good morning. And let's see. Cruising with Calandra says it's crappy here in New Jersey.
Really?
Yep. Bama Nola Adventures has made it in. Good morning.
Good morning.
And what are these emojis, Scott? I'm not sure what that is.
You got me, man.
Look like little beanie hats or acorns. I'm not sure. All right. Let's see. Yes. Traveling with Tinkerbell says Cruise Nuts. I look forward to seeing this dance. Yes. Do it for sure. Absolutely. Oh, they're going to Paradise Beach. This Sunday, we have a big group of local peeps. That's what's up right there. Oh, okay.
Dance for sure.
Show us the Scott dance for the new people in the chat. Well, back by popular demand. Clip 1, 2, or 3. Scott, you call it.
I don't care which one you wrote.
Oh, okay. Here we go. You know, there's multi-talents here. You got to balance in the water, and then you got to do the dance all at the same time.
I think I finally saw what you were talking about with the guy on the flute.
His kids are pulling him down. Yeah, I just noticed that. Yep, Midlife Travelers praying for you, Rihanna. Hope you feel better. And look who we got in the chat. First Lady just showed up. Elizabeth, good morning.
Hey, babe.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Bamanola said, is the Queen and the Three Nuts. Yep.
What?
That's us. The Queen and the Three Nuts. Yep. And Antoinette at Fun says, Scott got moves. I know. We got 2 other clips just like it. Yep. Oh, that was clip 1. And then here's clip 2 right here. We might as well run the whole series. All right, here we go. This is clip 2.
Otherwise known as the Eddie I Gotcha clip.
Yes, and then here's Eddie's clip from that same trip. Absolutely. And that was clip
gosh.
number 3. Yep. Mike Hernandez says Scott is so multi-talented with his dance. And it you know. Oh, Controversial Cruising has made it in. Good morning. And yes, the groceries just came. And Cruise Nut said balancing is a challenge when 3/4 of a bottle of great tequila has been drunk already. Well, you might need to tame it down for this one because you want the dance to be at least a little balanced. Oh, so you might have to switch over to sangria for this trip. We don't know because that's what sangria does. Tequila does something completely different. Nettie and JT, good morning.
Good morning.
Wait. Okay, here we go. Controversial Cruising. 1 raise the roof, followed by 3 side by sides. Ooh. Freezing grapes. Frozen grape juice dance. Okay, I got it. Got it. Okay. Cruise Nut says, Scott, we're going to have some fun together on the booze cruise. Yes, sir.
Yep.
And the third clip has finally made it into the opener and closer for the show. So twice per show now we get the Scott dance just included already with the opening footage. So yes, thank you for all of your votes and your comments on these dances. Well, I knew that was going to be the one. And here we go.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of agree with that too. I kind of agree with that, but shouldn't I have had some flailing hands like this or something like?
Oh, I love it. Captain Billy J says Scott's dance reminds me of one of those wacky inflatable tube men with flailing arms.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why we love you, Captain Billy J. All right, so we are caught up in the chat, and it is time for me to show you this here. We don't have any visitors in town today, but we thought we would share the penguins with you. And hey, they're woke. Now, there was a while ago a little stool for them to get up on, and one of these penguins, I'm not sure which one, got up on it and was preventing all the other penguins from getting on the little stool. He was like king of the mountain this morning. You should have saw it. It was cute. But yeah, they're up and about this morning, except for a couple in the background. Look like they haven't woke up yet.
Now, are they awake or are they liberals in a conservative land?
I have no idea.
You said they were woke.
Woke, that means awake. Yep, they got awakened. Or no, he said no.
Just making sure.
This little guy, he just said no. Him. And what are these two doing up here on the rock? They're rock climbing this morning. That's wild. Y'all know y'all can't get down. This one too over here. Wow. Okay. Well, today here in Galveston, we are waking up to 72 degrees with 90% humidity, 5% precipitation, and mostly cloudy. Today, we are only going up to a high of 78 degrees with 83% humidity, 21% precipitation, 14-mile-an-hour winds, and partly cloudy. Our ships are out and about still. Regal Princess is just over here still in the UK, just making multiple stops day by day. Norwegian Prima's headed up to Iceland.
Wow.
Iceland. Yep.
Now say the name of that town.
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik. Yep, Reykjavik.
I pronounced the J. Even though in Spanish it would be Reykjavik. So I don't know. I'm confused. Texan is something that I speak fluently.
I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
Well, Spanish is very close to French. I do live in Texas, so I hear a lot of Spanish in everyday conversation. So I pick up on a little bit. Disney Magic is out here still in the Southern Caribbean with no particular place to go. But all of the other ships here The Breeze is in Progresso. The Dream is in Costa Maya. The Jubilee is in Mahogany Bay. And the Harmony and Voyager are both at sea. And let's see who else has slid into the chat. Liberals in a conservative land. Yep. Will G, good morning. At Midlife Travels, it's I hope you guys are safe and not flooded and things like that. But Midlife Travel says it is 63 degrees currently with a high of 83 in southeast Oklahoma. Oh, okay, here we go. Elizabeth has an update for everybody. Iceland is beautiful, but good luck getting Scott there.
Yeah, here's the thing about that, right? Elizabeth has been to Iceland. Okay, she's been to Iceland. She's been all over. She's been to Reykjavik and stuff like that. And I have told her 100 times, I want to go there.
Right.
But at the very least, I want to go to the Blue Lagoon, which is this massive hot spring that you can swim in. Right. So, and every time I see pictures of it, obviously it's very cool there. So there's always a lot of steam coming off of it and everything else. And I thought that would be awesome. And she was like, yeah, from like the neck down. She was like, but your face would be frozen.
Yep. Terrible. All right. Well, we are once again caught up in the chat, which means that it is now time for Jeremy Goes Bananas. Welcome to Jeremy Goes Bananas, the segment of the show where I attempt to read what happened on this day in history. Today is Taco Tuesday, April 30th. Finally, April is gone and out of here.
Where's the rush? Where are we going?
What the rush is to get on the Paradise, my next cruise.
No,
I got a lot of days left.
Fast.
I got a lot of days left. I don't want to hear it. Every day gone is one less till our last, or until our first day of the cruise. So, yes, absolutely. And on this day, April 30th, in 1897, English physicist J.J. Thomson allowed that he had discovered the electron, which helped revolutionize the knowledge of atomic structure. He later was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. In 1900, American railroad engineer Casey Jones, later made famous in song, died in a train wreck.
Better watch your speed.
In 1900, U.S. President William McKinley signed the Hawaiian Organic Act, which made Hawaii a territory of the United States.
All right, whose fan kicked on?
I have no fan here. Hang on.
Are aliens invading?
It's definitely on Eddie's side. Mic test. Mic check. 1 2. Mic test. 1 2. Yeah, it's on Eddie's side. Okay, hang on. We got some technical difficulties here happening with the microphone.
I don't know why, but I got nothing going.
Okay.
I put the phone next to the microphone. That's probably what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it was, interference.
Ooh. Okay. Here we go. In 1926, aviator Bessie Coleman, the first American woman to obtain an international pilot's license from the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, died after her plane crashed during rehearsal for an aerial show. In 1933, American country singer and songwriter Willie Nelson was born.
A long time ago.
In 1939, the National Broadcasting Company made the first public television broadcast in the United States at the New York World's Fair. In 1945, German dictator Adolf Hitler and his wife Eva Braun committed suicide in a bunker in Berlin. In 1975, the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, fell to North Vietnamese troops during the Vietnam War. In 1989, Italian director Sergio Leone who popularized the spaghetti western with his hugely successful dollar trilogy, which included the masterpiece The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, died at the age of 60. In 2013, William Alexander became the king of the Netherlands after his mother, Queen Beatrix, abdicated and she had ascended the throne 33 years earlier. And finally, on this day in 1789, George Washington, the first president of the United States, was inaugurated in Federal Hall in New York City, addressing his constituency on the proceedings of a new and free government. And that will do it for Jeremy Goes Bananas. And see, somebody else.
The question I would have is, did Hitler really commit suicide, or did he escape to Argentina? Right. That question, and the other one, which is, if we really landed on the moon, why haven't we been back since? That question gets asked in this household a lot.
If the moon had oil, gold, and other stuff, I bet you we will be back. But since it's bare land, they cannot sell it or take it.
Yep. PK Adventure Travels. See, this is the excitement, the same excitement I have. Tomorrow, I am officially in the month of my next cruise. Come on, May. 24 days till Alaska.
Nice.
Yeah, see, somebody is excited. Somebody is excited about the days going by. I love it. CNS Travel has made it in. Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome in.
Those are going to be some great vlogs from Alaska. I know it.
Cruise Nut says the moon does not have any cruise ports. So boring to go. LOL.
See?
Yes, no cruise ports. I'm not excited about it. All right. And we are once again caught up in the chat, which means that it is now time for Scott to bring us the cruise and travel industry news.
And the moon.
Okay. So this story, obviously, everybody already knows about it, I'm sure, right? And I'm talking about this today. I'm reading this story, and I'm going to talk about it. I have, just something to say about it. So we're going to get to it here. Cruise passenger arrested in Grand Turk during security checkpoint. So a Virginia resident, 31-year-old Tyler Renich, was arrested on April 24th on charges of possession of ammunition while going through security checkpoint during his visit to Grand Turk in the Turks and Caicos Islands. He was visiting during a Royal Caribbean cruise. And the country has strict firearm and ammunition rules, which could lead to a 12-year prison sentence. He claims that the ammunition was left in his luggage from a previous trip and that he was unaware of the items that were still in his bag. So it says, although official reports do not state if the cruise ship Renich was sailing on was on only Royal Caribbean ship. It was the only Royal Caribbean ship in port last week was the Independence of the Seas. While unfortunate for Renich, the U.S. State Department has warnings on its website and the consequences of bringing ammunition into the Turks and Caicos Islands. Firearms, ammunitions, and other weapons are not permitted in Turks and Caicos. TCI authorities strictly enforce all firearm-related laws. Penalties include a minimum custodial sentence of 12 years, according to their firearm ordinance. Whether Renich will be convicted depends on whether or not there are circumstances that would allow the courts to consider the case as exceptional. While it is disconcerting that the cruise passenger is facing a 12-year prison sentence, the issue behind the arrest of the 31-year-old paramedic goes much deeper. This is really the part I want to drill down on. So the cruise passengers typically fly to the cruise ports, where they encounter multiple luggage scans while they're boarding the ship. The luggage is scanned again, and then the scans, and neither of the scans caught the ammunition in the luggage, something that security personnel are trained to spot. So of course, really what I want to get on here is that the question is, how did the cruise lines can avoid these types of scenarios? Scanning the luggage of thousands of guests every week will always lead to items not being found. More rigorous
Banana.
Yep, definitely. Luggage checks will only lead to longer boarding times and delayed departures. The incident in Grand Turk is just one of several incidences in which people aboard cruise ships with items that may be entirely illegal in the country, but considered highly illegal everywhere else. For example, one Carnival Cruise Line passenger was banned for life due to possession of some CBD gummies. One thing the cruise passengers can do is ensure that they check the rules in the destination that they are sailing to. So those are so based on that, that's really what has inspired the question of the day. And I apologize if the question of the day isn't worded very kind of intuitively, but it's tough coming up with a question sometimes that has to be 50 characters or less. StreamYard, if you're listening, there's a lot of real estate down there. Could you please just edit the code here a little bit and let me have some more characters in my title lines? But in any event, that is really the inspiration for today's question of the day, and I really want to drill down into it. I don't want to drill too much into it right now, and we'll circle back to it when we get to the question, because the second story is actually going to be there's a video associated with the second story, and I want to make sure we have enough time to run that video. So, but really what I'm saying is that the article, and I've listened to all the other arguments, and of course the family has, great arguments and stuff about it, is that, well, maybe it's not entirely his fault because TSA missed it when they scanned him at the airport, and the cruise line missed it when they scanned his bags on board. And all I would say is that we have a statement we love to make in this country, which is ignorance of the law is not a defense. And although I think it's terrible that, somebody has to endure the consequences, I talked a little bit about consequences that I had to endure for a very similar scenario, which I'm going to talk about again later when we get to the question of the day. So just wanted to say all that, maybe kind of leave you guys with something to think about, and hopefully we can discuss it here once we finish the news. So moving on, Royal Caribbean shows how passengers can party on Utopia of the Seas. Move over, Carnival Cruise Lines. Royal Caribbean is ready to prove that there is a new fun ship in the Caribbean when it debuts Utopia of the Seas in July. The Oasis class ship is poised to transform short vacations with 3 and 4 night cruises from Port Canaveral to the cruise line's private destination, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So there is nothing better on the planet Earth than having a phenomenal experience and party vibe aboard Utopia of the Seas, says Michael Bailey, the president and CEO of Royal Caribbean International. And we have a new video that they have released. So they say here, in a new video released to showcase the new ship and as a great party cruise, Utopia of the Seas will have many of the party bells and whistles that passengers can find on its sister ship, Wonder of the Seas, with 2 new bar additions and the pesky parrot and the lime and coconut. So before we go into any further, let's just run the video and check it out for ourselves.
There will be nothing better on planet Earth than having a phenomenal experience and party vibe on board Utopia of the Seas.
We're bringing to life a brand new experience called the Pesky Parrot, a live, energetic experience that's very different from anything we've done in the past.
The Pesky Parrot's gonna have great fruity cocktails, frozen drinks. Bartenders are gonna keep the action live and exciting for the guests.
We're gonna have some really cool surprises that guests will really have a lot of fun with.
One of the areas that guests enjoy when they're on vacation is the pool deck. It's wanting to have that connection to the water, the ability to take in the sun.
Lime and coconut is really going to open up that pool deck, and guests are going to be able to use the whole pool deck for their pool parties and their activations at night, and that will really provide a space that has that ultimate pool party that the guests are looking for.
View bar returns. There's just great panoramic views of the ocean to have some drinks up on the pool deck there.
The Mason jar really is a proven super success. The bar is packed. You have a live band that is so fantastic. It gets you out of your chair. The bar continues to serve the small bites that we know our guests absolutely love. The energy in that space is so exciting.
There's 2 casinos available. So overall, you're talking about a vacation experience that rivals any destination anywhere on the planet.
We have a comedy club with perfect sight lines. People aren't going to be disappointed.
Bolero's is getting an update to add a couple of the drinks that we've seen a lot of success with.
Schooner Bar is going to feel familiar, and so concepts like that are great for making memories.
The pub is taking some of the gin and tonic ideas and to build your own gin and tonic. Traditional favorites in there, obviously, will still have the wider range of beers with the new additions. There's going to be a large population that doesn't drink alcohol. We feel like the non-alcoholic drinks that we rolled out are fit for the entire fleet, and Utopia especially.
We've got an incredible venue called Music Hall, which will have rock music. And I think from the moment they get here to the moment they leave, guests are going to have their minds blown.
Playmakers is so much more than just a space to watch a game. Playmakers is where I would go to reconnect with my family, my friends over a meal, just because it's a little more relaxed atmosphere.
There is no better option for a quick getaway than the combination of Utopia of the Seas plus Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Along with all of the other amenities that we already had on Perfect Day at Coco Cay, like Thrill Water Park, Splashaway Bay, the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas. There's nothing that can top that short getaway.
When you combine Utopia with Perfect Day, there will be no vacation like it. And our intention is that people have such an incredible time that they'll come back again and again.
Or they won't have any choice to come back because they were only had 3 and 4 days on the ship or whatever. So.
Yeah, and that's the way the news goes.
Man, that video almost made me take my bags to the car.
I mean, listen, there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing better than Oasis class ships. I mean, they are just absolutely fantastic. 7 days, I think, is enough time to really kind of take it in. But, you got to spend a lot of time going out and doing stuff. You can't sit still for very long on an Oasis ship.
Don't look at me like that.
Controversial Cruising says, how many days we got, Ain't June? And here's the answer. 13.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yep, 13 days.
I need to be on the cruise real soon.
Yep, and Traveling with Tinkerbell has graciously given us some nuts and pineapples in the chat. Thank you.
They go together.
Nuts and pineapples?
Yeah, in a pie. See, in a pie.
Very interesting.
Nice.
With whipped cream. Oh my God.
Yep. Homeboy had 2 bullets. For the news report said he had 2 bullets.
And did they find a gun?
No, they didn't find no gun. Canadian Family Life. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yep. Oh, okay. Well, yep. Okay, the members. Yeah. Okay. So we had a membership thing going on yesterday.
Yeah, I told them about that. That me, you, and Rob went shopping.
We went shopping. And yeah, Journeys with Judy Brady says, but why did the other scanners not detect it? You know, I believe that people pay attention to what they want to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the bottom line. Cruise Nut says, don't care anything about the big ships. LOL. We have no interest in them. Our preference.
My preference is the bigger, the better.
Bigger, the better?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a lot more walking. I like the mid-size, especially the Prima. The Prima was so awesome. Hey, Goldie has made it in. Good morning.
Hi.
Hey, Goldie. Good morning. Oh, yeah. The Prima was absolute divine.
It was a perfect size, too. Traveling with Tinkerbell says, I can't wait to see this ship, Utopia. The countdown has started. July 15th is my date to check out this beauty. Yep. And
because like I often go down there to Central Florida and then do multiple cruises while I'm there with like a stay in between and stuff like that. So it's great to have a 3 and 4 day option on that ship, for me to consider in that scenario. So,
or you can do like Jennifer. First of all, welcome in. Very excited for our back-to-back on Utopia.
Yeah, back-to-back would do.
I mean, you'd have to do a back-to-back, but for me, right, in that case, it would be more about, I know usually it's about the port for me, but in that case, it'd be more about the ship for me because it's only going, to one port. So, so for me, I'd want to be on the ship more. So
Midlife Travel says, as an artist myself, I feel that the smaller to mid-sized ships have beautiful artwork and decor. Absolutely. They do.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a, there's a preference and a mindset that I think a seasoned or experienced cruiser really really can put themselves into based on the size and the style of the ship that they're sailing on. I definitely can appreciate an older, smaller ship, even though I really like the big ships. And I do complain about some of the older ships sometimes or whatever, but while I'm there, I really do take note of the things that you can clearly see the good old days of cruising in. And I do appreciate those things. It's just not my preference. So
yeah, that's me. Not my preference.
CNS Travel says, me and Scott Smith have only 12 more days.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Controversial Cruising ask everybody, are any of you guys going on the Utopia in September? Inquiring minds want to know.
Somebody else, I think some other vlogger has like a group or something on it.
Jennifer from Embarkation Nation says, I agree. It is about the ship. We will probably stay on in Nassau, but we'll go check out Coco Cay.
No, of course.
Clock has a group cruise on in September.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Yeah.
PK Adventure Travel says, I can tell you sometimes things slip through. I got stopped coming back on the ship once, and they said I had small rocks in my bag. Yep. They were from Yosemite, though 6 months earlier in a fold. Wow.
Okay, so let's get to the question of the day, right? So because I really want to drill down in on this, right? So I had an experience here in the United States. So I live in Pennsylvania. I was traveling through the state of Virginia to get to the state of Tennessee, and there is very different laws, between these two states that we only have Maryland in between us, right? So, and the real quick of that is that in Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter how fast you're driving over the speed limit, the fine just goes up higher, based on how much faster you were driving. Now, I imagine if there were some type of, extreme circumstances, maybe if you were, doing something else or whatever, it could cause different penalties, maybe like the loss of your license, but it's certainly not a criminal offense, right? It's just simply a vehicle code violation. There's nothing criminal involved in it. However, in the state of Virginia, they have this crazy law down there, which is if you're driving 20 miles per hour or faster than the posted limit, or 80 miles per hour or faster in any limit, it's automatically reckless driving, and it is a misdemeanor, right? So you actually have to go to court, and it's like anything else in court. The court has the discretion as to whether or not to reduce it to simple speeding or to keep it as a misdemeanor and make you go through the entire criminal process and end up with a criminal record simply because you were driving. Let's say in my case, I was driving 83 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour highway. I was on Interstate 81 in the middle of the Shenandoah Valley. There were no cars around me. I wasn't weaving in and out of traffic. I wasn't engaged in any kind of reckless driving. I was simply just driving 83 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. And suddenly I'm facing criminal charges now, right? I had to hire a lawyer. It turns out, I learned this. Turns out the lawyer, there's entire law practices all over the state of Virginia who literally only practice this law, where they deal with in and out of state drivers who have been charged with this crazy law. And that is, and it must be lucrative for them, because that's their entire focus of practice. That's all they're handling all the time, is all of these cases. So of course I had to hire a lawyer, and that lawyer went to court for me, and he was able to get the judge to reduce it to simple speeding. But then when you pay for the fine and you pay the lawyer's fees and everything else, that was an $1,800 ticket for me, right? Certainly a lesson I learned. I certainly will never do that again in the state of Virginia, and haven't since. But it begs the question, right? Is that, what if the judge hadn't done that? What if I'd had to go through the whole criminal, process? What defense would I have had? None, because they had proof, right? They had a radar gun that, that showed that I was doing that. I would have ended up with a criminal record. And although that would have been, it would have been terrible, and it would have been the end of many things in my life, it would have been consequences that I would have had to deal with. Now, I could have done the research. Now I realize who does, right? And I did appreciate the judge showing some leniency here and, adjusting it so that I didn't have to deal with that. But the bottom line is that whether your intentions are deliberate or not, which I don't believe that this guy went to the Turks and Caicos and said, you know what, I'm an American, I don't care. I'm just going to go anyway because I'm American. I can do whatever I want. Although Americans do, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, you can hate on me. Americans have that attitude all the time. Of course, certainly that's the wife's attitude. Oh, you know what? The State Department should step in. This should happen. That should happen. They should move heaven and earth because he's an American. And Americans seem to always want to have their own set of rules to play by. And it really does irritate me, pretty, seriously, because, we do not take the time to research our own laws. And I'm just as guilty of it, which is why I told everybody the story, so that you can know I speak from experience. We don't take the time to research our own laws. So why would we take the time to research the laws, then? And my children were very little when this happens. That was a long time ago, right? Certainly that information is even more readily available today. The internet is way more than what it used to be. So, you have to take the time. As the article I read said, the State Department has that. It's a great place to go, right? And find, put in the name of the country you're going to, and it will give you any kinds of warnings like that, right? And then you simply just have to go through your bag. I realize he didn't do it on purpose, but he did do it, right? And whether or not it was intentional or not, he still has to face the consequences. Now, I believe in the end, okay, they will find some exception because of all the publicity of the story. They'll probably find their courts will probably find some exception, and they'll let him off, right? And then good for him. But that doesn't change the attitude of, a lot of these people who are saying, oh no, he shouldn't have to deal with it at all. And in my opinion, he should, right? And part of me even wants to see him serve the entire 12 years as a lesson, to people that, And some people will say, well, that's easy for you to say you're not facing it. No, you're right. But I have faced something similar, right? Do you realize if I would have ended up with that criminal record, I mean, that would have been the end of so many things in my life. Okay. Because, and although it wasn't a serious record, we have very finite things in this country, right? It's not even about what you did necessarily. It's about if you did it, right? They don't care what the circumstances are about. It's actually, we live, the U.S. is literally in many, many aspects, a one strike and you're out society. So I'm just saying, there could have been a lot of other consequences for me, and I'm grateful they aren't. And I hope that a big part of me hopes that guy is able to get out from underneath it and that he'll learn the same lesson from it that I did. But at the end of the day, we really need to take more time to be more familiar with the places that we're going to and stop being so casual about it because we're Americans and we should have a second set of rules that only apply to us. And that attitude is way, way, way too prevalent in our minds for, in my opinion, and it has to stop. And this passing the buck of saying, oh, well, the TSA the TSA shouldn't have picked it up. And the cruise line scans shouldn't have picked it up. That guy should have been familiar and went through his bags. That's all I have to say about it.
Eddie?
Eddie's guys on their way.
Just like Scott says, I agree. And we think we're above the law. Wherever we go, we could get away with whatever. And I'm sorry to tell you, but once you're in foreign land, it should not apply to you for crap. You got to listen to the rules. You got to listen to the rules and follow the law, no matter what. And a lot of us don't do it. We just walk in the place like we own it. And it's like the ports we visit on these ships that we think they're American. They're not. Because they have an office here, that doesn't mean they're paying our dues like we are. So that doesn't give you the right to just walk into the place like you own it, And we have that attitude. We always complaining about the other countries. They have their own life. They do their own thing and leave it alone. You don't live there,
right?
I mean, until you do and you sustain a living there and pay wages and all that, then complain about it. Other than that. Stick to your thing, and it's just so simple. Alice, I don't do any of this research stuff. I don't do any of it, and I'm gonna tell you right about it. But Alice does. Alice is always making sure that she gets all the information that she can from every place we're gonna go. Basically for our safety. Number two, because I'm handicapped, so she's always looking out for me to make sure that I have an easy access to wherever we go. So she does do the research. I do listen a lot and I hear things and I double check on it instead of just hearing something saying, the heck with it, no big deal. But yeah, you are responsible for your own life, be sure you take care of it. Double check your bags, double check everything. It's just a little bit of time now will save you a lot of time later.
That's right.
Yep.
I agree with both guys. But it is my responsibility to research for us, the family. Hey, babe, did you know this? Hey, guess what? This is what I do to him all the time, listen to this, read this. I even pass it to him. Read this and tell me if you get the same thing out of it as I'm getting. This is what we do, because we don't want no mishaps on vacation. Zero, and it's best to research it yourself. And while we're talking about this and people getting an extra chance and second chance, that story that Scott ran about a week ago or so about the travel agent that scammed the people. My God, she scammed two groups of people, one going to Costa Rica, one going to Costa Maya. They got to Costa Rica and didn't have a place to stay.
About 70 people.
Yes. And then the other group was in the hundreds. It was on the news.
Yeah, it was the big news.
The big news. We watched it yesterday. They said this is not the first time she's done this. They were so dramatic.
Yep.
She's done this before. And oh man, she just went on and on and on. I mean, they just went on this little news clip.
And since we do have people from other countries here in the chat, I do want to explain something to you. It is not a part of our schooling at any point to learn about the laws here in this country. They do not teach us our laws. It is our personal responsibility to learn about the laws, what you can and cannot do. Because generally, as an American, we don't learn about laws until we break them. And whenever we break the law, we get punished for breaking that law. Me personally, I remember a story about a guy who went over to China and he was spraying some graffiti on the side of a building or something or whatever, and he got caned for it. This is when I was a really little kid, but I do remember it because polarized Americans went nuts about this guy, getting punished in the way that he did. Well, guess what? That's their law. And you should be punished if you do something that is against their law in their country, because like this story, the State Department isn't going to do anything to help you. It is your responsibility to learn about these things. And if you don't take your responsibility seriously, you could get punished in that way. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I believe that a lot of our laws are 100% relaxed. We get slaps on the wrist. We don't get really punished for the things that we do. And that's my stance.
And I think too, as Americans, we have this attitude all the time that the sovereignty of other nations is somehow inferior or should be or can be ignored, like the sovereignty of the US. Like, they're not, and we have things we call them they're third world, blank holes, and we this and that and everything else, and they may be whatever they are, but they are sovereign nations. They do have laws. Okay. And, whether you respect our laws or their laws or just our laws and not whatever your attitude is. Okay. They are a sovereign nation and they do have the right. And even though we don't feel like it meets our standards or that it's cruel and unusual and things like that, I feel the same way when these people go to like North Korea and stuff like that. I'm thinking to myself, okay, and then we lose our minds about that too, right? Oh gosh, and and they've been held captive there and they've been tortured. Yes, and it's terrible. Yes. But that's how they handle their justice system there. Right. That's their rules. That's their laws. And if you feel like there might be something that if you feel like, hey, I don't want to chance it, then don't go. Right? Don't go, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if you do, you're assuming that risk that they may, decide that you are to blame for something, and then we always have to set it to a standard where it's always, cruel and unusual. Well, okay, maybe it is compared to our standard, but it isn't to their standard, and their standard what matters, because they're the sovereign nation that made, that the offense occurred in. So I just, I really feel very passionate and very strongly about this, way more than I have expressed in this, kind of context and venue. But and I really just wanted to say something about it because I've been yelling at the TV for a week now every time I see the story about this guy and these bullets, because I'm just so, I get so upset about this attitude of, he's an American and he didn't mean it, so he should get a special pass for it. And that's really up to their judge and their justice system. And if they do, great, right? Because I don't begrudge anybody who gets whatever it is that the court hands them, whether that was as a result of the court, taking mercy on them or not. I don't begrudge that process at all. What I am upset about is that If you listen to the news and you listen to the family, they're literally advocating for the Marines to go down there and grab him and walk him off and fly him home, right? Or for the president of the United States to call them and say, we're going to nuke you or do something to punish you if you don't send our citizen back completely unharmed without any, and just that attitude all the time just upsets me. So
I call it a superiority complex, good sir.
Yeah,
we are not superior to anyone, and until people, Americans, a certain group of Americans, get rid of that mentality, we're still stuck.
Yeah,
we're still stuck. It's a superiority complex.
And the thing is that in the United Kingdom, we are second citizens.
Yeah,
that's how they treat us. And a lot of countries in Europe hate every time you go, "Oh, I'm an American." Boy,
you're
piss somebody off.
Yeah, you're instantly hated.
I mean, I saw a man on the street interview on TikTok in the United K, where they said, "What's the stupidest nation on the planet?" And overwhelmingly, the English said Americans.
And guess
who is stupidest people on the planet? Like, as like a nation, and it was overwhelmingly they said Americans. Right, because that's how the world, views us, and I won't get into why, but I mean, I have a whole theory on why, but I won't get into why. But that's unfortunate, right? That's and that's for a reason. And I think it plays into a lot of what you have to say about it. But anyway, so we probably spent a little bit more time on this than I really originally intended to. I'm going to be starting a political podcast here at some point in time where I'm going to be spending a lot of time on it. But in any event, I really just wanted to touch base on this because I do have a similar. Now, obviously, I'm not facing 12 years in prison, and I don't think I would have gotten 12 years in jail or anything like that for driving too fast. But the point of it, the principle of it is the same. It is a law that does not exist where I live, but does exist in the state of Virginia. And unfortunately, I have a firsthand, experience with it. And I would have had to take the consequences that were handed to me, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And this guy really, in my opinion, should have to face those consequences as well, whether it was intentional or not.
Yep. Cruising with Calandra says 17 days till freedom of the seas.
Nice.
Globees Travels has made it in. Good morning.
Good morning, Globees.
Good morning.
Yep.
And I also will say that every county, even the counties are different.
Yes.
Different laws and from one to another. Like when we first came here to the house, the realtor parked outside on the curb, and she almost got a ticket. We didn't know that. The driveway was full, so the lady parked out there, and she almost got a ticket for parking outside the house.
Wow.
Listen, I parked one of my vehicles on my front lawn. And apparently that's against the law in the township that I live in, but it's not a Pennsylvania state law and it's not a county law. It's just a local law that you're not allowed to park on your grass for more than like a certain amount of time. I had no idea, right? Now I didn't get a ticket for it or anything. I just got a warning. But, if I would have kept it there or did it again, I would get a warning. Pennsylvania has a very strict law about dogs, right? We have a super, super strict law about dogs in this country or in this state, right? And that is, this is the penalty. The first time your dog is off the leash, you get a warning. The second time your dog is off the leash, you get a $600 fine. And the third time your dog is off the leash, you get a $1,000 fine and 30 days in jail. And that is a Pennsylvania state law, right? And we have dog owners all the time who are running around with their dogs off the leash, right? We have dog parks for that, right? But, and I have a neighbor who, didn't even care that I showed him video footage of his dog in my yard. And he was like, "Oh, and you're making too much out of it." And I said, "Listen, I'm not making too much out of it." I said, some very smart people, and maybe some not smart people in our legislature decided that this was a serious enough issue that they made a law about it. I said, and you have to follow that law now. And clearly you feel like you don't have to. And that's why the cops came to your door for it, man. I was like, because I have no more time for you about it.
Jennifer from Embarkation Nation says we're going on the Utopia September 13th through the 20th.
Nice.
I know you guys are going to have an excellent time. And then CNS Travel says then staying on the back-to-back for Southern also. Ooh.
Nice.
Love it, love it, love it. And here we go. Journeys with June and Brady says, when driving in Virginia, I am very careful with my speed. Yep. PK Adventure Travels. Yep. And there's a perfect legal bow they put in all law, and that is ignorance of the law does not excuse breaking the law. So I didn't know never helps.
Right.
Yeah, and he did something too about how him and his wife had got caught for something, and they had to pay a fine or whatever. Him and Mel had to pay a fine. They said Mel and I had an issue when we went camping, and we each got $150 ticket for fishing without a license. We had also always been on military campgrounds and never had to have a license, so we did not know, and lesson learned.
Rob would have made a good lawyer for you, man. Scott, he says, Scott, was the radar gun calibrated? When was
certainly all that kind of stuff could be legal. Certainly that kind of stuff could be the way that you could wiggle out of it, but to thy own self be true, right? And I was well aware that I was, trying to get from one place to another in the least amount of time as possible.
I love that question. Do you know how fast you were going? Yep. Do you want to tell me? Nope. Did you see the gun? When was the last time it was calibrated? If you answered no to one question, it would be tough, at least up here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you should have hired Rob. I'm telling you, man. FBI, open up. Yes, that is not good at all. And since you came in on the green side, you get hearts. Cruising on the high seas and travel.
I take his heart.
She took your hearts. Oh. To two young college kids, $300 in fines was a huge hit to the budget. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Oh, $1,800 speeding ticket. I'm like,
hey, the Bud Files made it in. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, Bud. Hey, Sue.
And we got our first visitor on the Facebook side. It is the Cruise Nuts. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Hey, Tracy.
Yes. And this is our second show on the Facebook page, Go Live Together Morning Show. If you haven't joined that Facebook page, we strongly encourage you to do so. Not only will we be broadcasting on that side, but we'll be sharing a lot of our shenanigans. And I know Eddie is sharing the list up on YouTube there as well. And let's see if he's got the list ready for today.
Yep. And coming up around noontime will be Mayhems and Miracles. 12:15 Eastern Time, Scratching Pete. 6 p.m. tonight, Destination Fun. 7 p.m. tonight, Traveling with Tickerborough with Guga and Rob as guest. 8 p.m. Coach Cruise. 9 p.m. Ocean to Ocean Travel. And closing the night at 10 p.m. tonight will be Nautical Nurse Nancy and her hubby.
Good lineup for the rest of the day.
Now the question is, now that we have a Facebook page for our morning show, should we have a Facebook page for our After Dark show where if people wanted to, they could go and watch our After Dark show on the After Dark Facebook page, and on that particular page, they could expect to see Cheryl on top.
Yes, I want to be on top.
Tracy and Mike says it is like wearing or carrying anything camouflage in some countries. Follow the laws for where you are. We are visitors in their country. Behave accordingly.
That's right.
Yeah, right. I think it's Is it the Bahamas and Jamaica, or just Jamaica? I know it's definitely Jamaica, but there might be another country too where you're not allowed to wear camo.
I know you didn't heat it up, Eddie.
I know. I want to be on top.
Sorry, guys. I'm in the heat.
God. Oof. Yep. Cruise Nut says, hey, in a country where they have public executions, I bet their crime rate is way low in that country. Yeah, seriously.
Amen to that.
Our laws are way too relaxed. Way too relaxed.
That's what happened in Singapore. Singapore, they got rid of crime.
Yeah.
They killed everybody.
Singapore is where they caned that dude too. I remember that. I was a little kid, but Americans were just all up in arms about it. It's like, so he broke the law. That's how they deal with it. Some countries, they cut off appendages for certain things.
Yep.
And that's what they need to do here in the States. Yep. Okay, here we go. Cruising on the high seas. So, well, sorry to say in Europe, they love Canadians.
Hey, have it your way.
Well, like, don't you guys still have the Queen on your money up there or whatever?
That's why.
Cruise Nut says Tracy used to live in Iran when she was a kid, and you should hear the stories I heard. Yeah. I'm
bet.
Yeah. Iran probably got some stuff going on too. Pier Runners has made it in. Good morning.
Good morning, Tracy.
Yo.
Yes.
I wanna ask Cruising with Calandra and also CNS Sherman. Please, if you do premieres for your blogs when you get back, please do a thumbnail and let me know so I could put you on the list.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In order for Eddie to pick you up, he has to notice you. The way to be noticed is to schedule your show.
Yeah, schedule it out. I was going to mention that to PK Adventure Travels as well. I sent them the link for our May 10th After Dark show already. You guys, if you are planning on restreaming it on your channel, you may want to get that scheduled.
Yes.
So that Eddie can put it on the list.
And speaking of PK, Pure Runner says Belize has no camo. Cruise Nut says Mexico has no camo, and PK says Barbados is the other one.
Yeah.
So the way we handle it is that we bring camo on the ship to wear on the ship. We don't go into any port wearing camo. That's just the way we deal with it. If one country has a problem with it, we assume that all of them do, and that's a good assumption to make. Is that it's best to be safe, not to break a law in the first place, instead of finding ways around it and then trying to holler, victim after you break the law.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do not break the laws intentional, but again, like, it doesn't have to be intentional.
Right.
You know, you still have to take the responsibility for it, right? I'm sorry that happened, but you still have to take the responsibility. But so many times as Americans, we say, no, he's an American, he shouldn't. No.
Wait a minute. I don't know how true this is here, but Mike Arana says they're changing the money from the Queen to the King now.
Oh,
anybody heard about this?
There you go. And from what I understand, right, they'll have to change. Maybe they should hold off on that, because I think there's going to be another new king over there pretty soon, from what I've been hearing. Because I think Charles has like pancreatic cancer, and nobody survives that. That is 100% kill rate.
And my family died from that.
Yep, 100% kill rate.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Oh, Cruise Nuts is feeling a Frozen moment. All right. Well, with that, we will go ahead and close out the show. In the outro, there is another frozen grape juice dance that all of you can catch. In the meantime and in between time, everybody take care of each other out there. Take care of yourselves. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And never, ever forget, we love you. And good morning.
Use your Eddie Lugo pen whenever you're signing something.
Yes.
Just saying.